Hi everybody, I am Becky Solia and I am the Social Work Witch, and it's nice to talk to you all. For those of you who haven't been here before, welcome. And for those of you who have been here before, welcome back. I know I haven't had a chance to talk to you, any of you, for a while, and we had some technical difficulties. I've been trying to learn some new video editing techniques, and I'm not particularly good at the technology stuff, but I'm trying to learn as we go along. What I am really good at is talking to people about what to do when things go wrong and how to make things a little more stable, how to make things feel a little bit better in your life. And I'm coming to you today from my backyard because it's kind of my happy place. And I know that it looks really, really dark behind me, and that's because it's pretty late in the evening. And I'm just sitting out here enjoying the almost full moon and the hundreds of fireflies that keep buzzing by my head while I'm out here. And if you are somewhere where the weather is nice and you can get outside, then I recommend doing that because it makes you feel good. I especially like, I feel like Mr. Rogers now. I especially like to take off my shoes and my socks. I have very silly, funny, fuzzy socks on today, and walk around out here in my bare feet because I feel like the grass under my feet feels really, feels really, really good. And that makes me happy. The only time I don't come out here in my bare feet is wintertime, and that is because I live in Pennsylvania, and a lot of times in the winter we have snow and ice on the ground, and my feet do not like snow and ice. I'm sure there are people who are okay with that. I'm not one of those people. Anyway, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today is I wanted to talk to you about breathing. And that seems like a really simple thing, right? Like all of us are breathing pretty much from the moment we're born until the moment we die, right? So do you know what would happen if you stopped breathing? You would turn blue and fall over. So I would assume that if you are listening to my voice right now, that you are breathing. But the question is, are you breathing in a way that is particularly helpful to you? I'll take a sip of my drink. I mean, I assume that you're breathing in a way that's helpful to you because you haven't turned blue or fallen over. Note, if you are in the room with someone who has turned blue and fallen over, you should probably call 911. Don't stop breathing, please. But what I want to talk to you about is what sometimes we call yoga breathing or meditative breathing, deep breathing. When I work with kids, we call it belly breathing because when you are taking deep, slow breaths, your belly moves. So, seems logical to me. One of the things that I do to help people learn about breathing is I blow bubbles. And actually, I really love bubbles. I have been blowing bubbles since I was a kid, so I'm a pro at it. But for real, when I was in college, I was a young mom, and my bubble wand is upside down. Y'all see that? Got put in there upside down. And now I'm covered in bubble solution, so I'll probably be sticky later. But anyway, when I was in college, I was a young mom and taking way too many classes and working way too many jobs, and my stress level was like all the way up here. And one of the things that I found to be really, really helpful when I was in college and going through all of that stress was blowing bubbles. I kind of like this. I just realized that my bubble wand has a star on it, and it kind of looks like a magic wand. What I find funny about that, I know I hop all over the place, right? Imagine being in a therapy session with me and I hop all over the place, but I always have a reason. I always tell people that I have a magic wand, but it doesn't work the way people think it works. This magic wand helps me to relieve stress. And let me show you how. Let me show you. Ready? How cool is that, right? It's kind of like magic. Anyway, when I was in college and I was going through all of that stress, I found that blowing bubbles helped me to decrease my stress levels. I would go outside wherever I was, whether that was in my backyard or out on the college campus, or my parents owned a store in the town that I went to college in, so sometimes I'd sit out on the front steps of the store and I would just blow bubbles. And sometimes, that one didn't work so well. Sometimes you're walking by and you see a 22, 23-year-old woman blowing bubbles and you think, what the heck is wrong with her? Right? I'm sure people looked at me funny, but I didn't care because it made me feel good. And sometimes I think that we should do that we should just do things that make us feel good and not particularly worry about if other people think we're weird or not. Of course, those of you who know me well know that I am weird to start with, and there's no getting around it. Anyway, I would like to get back to breathing. How about you? I mean, I haven't stopped breathing. Or, as I said earlier, I would turn blue and fall over. When we do deep breathing, meditative breathing, yoga breathing, belly breathing, we allow ourselves to de-stress a little bit. We can think a little clearer. We can get oxygen to our brain so we can make better decisions. We can pause and our hearts can beat a little slower. In fact, if you happen to have like a Fitbit or something like that that monitors your blood pressure and your heart rate, I think it would be awesome to look at it. Sorry, it's loud where I live. I would like you to look at it and see what your heart rate is before you begin deep breathing. And then after your exercise in deep breathing, I'd like you to look at it again and see if it's lower. I've done this exercise with a number of clients, and they have found that their heart rate drops significantly and their blood pressure drops significantly after just a few moments of deep breathing. So, what I'd like you to do is take a few minutes to just find a place where you can sit and you'll be uninterrupted. If that means going outside or tucking the dog and cat in another room, or getting someone to keep an eye on your kids for a couple of minutes, or even, I remember being a young mom and the only quiet place I could get to sometimes was the bathroom. Even if that means going in the bathroom and locking the door, go somewhere where you will be undisturbed. And then sit down. And just take a moment to do some deep breathing. What that means is breathing in slowly through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, some people like to do this backwards, and they breathe in slowly through their mouth and out their nose. I won't judge. Do it however you want to do it. But what I want you to really focus on is what it feels like to completely fill up your lungs. Imagine if you were going to dive into the water at your local swimming pool and you wanted to stay underwater for a while, you would want your lungs to be completely full. If you were going to jump in the water and try to hold your breath for a little bit and you just filled up your cheeks like, it wouldn't do you very good. Like, you wouldn't be able to stay underwater for more than a couple seconds. So what I want you to do right now is to think about filling up your lungs with air. Slowly fill them up hold them for just a couple of seconds, and then try to blow all that air out of your nose, or rather, try to blow all of that air out of your mouth. So I'm going to demonstrate. Ready? While you're doing deep breathing, if you put your hand right here, right at your diaphragm, this way sometimes we call it diaphragmatic breathing, you can actually feel your belly or your diaphragm going in and out. So I'm going to do it again with my hand on my belly. Ready? A great reminder to breathe is to blow bubbles. We talked about that a little bit before. If you blow bubbles taking short and shallow breaths, you won't get a lot of bubbles. Watch. I don't think I got one. Let's try that again. Nope. But if you try to blow bubbles using long, slow, deep breaths, you should have better results. Watch. I failed! Let's try that one more time. I got one bubble. All right, my bubbles are a failure today. There we go! Let's do it again, just for funsies. Okay. So, your reminder for today is I'd like you to take a few moments, go someplace quiet where you won't be interrupted, and try to breathe just for a few minutes so that you can give your brain a little more oxygen, you can slow yourself down, and get yourself a little calmer and a little less stressed. Will you try that for me? Okay. Just today, I want to remind you that you are loved and that you are going to be okay and that we'll be here together no matter what's going on. And hopefully, I'll get to see you soon. A reminder that if you hit the subscribe button, you'll get to see all of my videos. Right now, they're coming a little more sporadically as I'm learning about technology. But again, hit the button, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and the YouTube powers that be, however that technology works, will make sure that my videos show up in your feed and you'll get to see more of me. I want to keep talking to you as the months go by and helping you find ways to de-stress and calm down. Once again, my name is Becky Solia and I am the Social Work Witch. Talk to you soon.